Hi, it's Kenza.
And it's Chloe.
And we're the
Holy Queso Girls.
Welcome to episode 2 of our podcast. And if you heard our first episode, you know who we are. And if you haven't heard it,
go listen
to it.
Go listen.
Yes. But today we're going to be talking about some could I, should I things to do as a Christian.
Yes, you hear a lot of Christians asking, could I have tattoos as a Christian? Or could I cuss as a Christian? And we think what you should be asking is, should I be doing these things as a Christian? So that's kind of why we titled our episode what we did today. I think the first one we were going to talk about is, as a Christian, can I have tattoos?
Right, and that's a big one because, like, you know, there's some, like, Christian tattoos, there's some, like, bad tattoos, so, like, what's kind of the middle in between, or, like, what should we be doing as a Christian?
Yeah.
I'm going to let her do that because she has all the info.
I don't have that much. So the one verse that everyone looks at whenever they talk about tattoos is Leviticus 19:28, and it states, "You shall not make any cuts on your body for the dead, nor make any tattoo marks on yourselves. I am the Lord." And this is in Leviticus. In its original context, this law was prohibiting pagan mourning rituals associated with, like, idolatry and, like, cutting yourself or marking your skin to honor false gods. It was a little dark.
Yeah.
They was doing stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So looking at it in our day and age, I don't think we use tattoos in the same sense. I would hope we're not using them in the same sense. It's a little scary. Honestly, with tattoos, I think the main message behind it is, what is its meaning to you?
Right.
Like, whenever you look at this tattoo, what is it making you think? What is it making you feel? Is this tattoo honoring God? Those are questions you need to ask yourself before you get a tattoo, I would say.
Right, and also our body is a temple of God, so what you're putting on there is also representing God. If you're, a true Christian, I say true Christian because we can say we're Christian and not really, but if you really have that relationship with Jesus, your whole body is showing that you are a part of Him. So what you put on your body shows other people, hey, this is Jesus follower or not.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say my biggest thing with tattoos is whenever people put stuff about someone in their life that died, or like a pet that died, that kind of thing, like R.I.P. grandma on your arm. Like, I don't know, something about that doesn't sit right with me, because every time you look at that, is it making you feel sad? Is it putting you in this mental state of dwelling on death instead of thinking life, I think it's more of, honestly, how does it make you feel? Because you can put something on your body that reminds you of someone in your life that stood for something, or you can do it that kind of reminds you of their death. So, I don't know. I think it is a hard topic, and it's just something you really have to think on and pray
and
about.
obviously there's the tattoos that, like, have really bad things on them, like Satan horns and all that stuff, and that's obviously not something that we should be putting on our body as Christians. And honestly, just, like, if you study, like, how tattoos impact your body in general, if you want to go down to the science of it, which is, like, I love that kind of stuff, like, that ink gets into your bloodstream, like, your entire life. That ink will always be in your bloodstream, and it's terrible for your body in general. So I think, personally, God wouldn't want you to put something on your body that is going to hurt you. But, again, there's always an in-between. But I'm that way with, like, just how it's going to make me feel about my body. Like, I don't want the ink into my blood, so I'm not going to put a tattoo on myself.
Yeah, I think everyone has different convictions with it.
Right.
If you think about it and you're like, I don't think it's something for me, that's your conviction, That's how you feel about it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that's tattoos.
One down.
3 to go. So another one that's honestly a big thing is about drinking. Like, is drinking right? Could I drink as a Christian? Should I be drinking as a Christian? And a lot of people debate about this because there's nothing specifically in the Bible talking about you should not drink. There's many instances in the Bible where people drink wine, Jesus drinks wine, all that. But there is something in the Bible that talks about not getting drunk, that being drunk is a sin. And also, I just want to kind of go into like the meaning behind all of this historically, because it's kind of interesting. So interesting. Anyway, so the word alcohol comes from the word alcool in Arabic, and it kind of is used. It's at first it meant to be like a black powder under the eye, and historically, obviously, I grew up in Morocco, so I kind of know about this stuff. It's kind of to ward off spirits, and it's also just kind of a trend. It depends on how traditional they were. But as you go on, the word, you know, you have like spirits, there's like wine spirits, and it started, let me see. So they began using alcohol, which is the thing under the eyes, to describe the essence or spirit of something that has been burned off or purified. And so when you pour a drink and call it spirit or like wine spirits or anything like that, that term is literally ancient. It came from the belief that alcohol had a supernatural energy to it, that when you drank it, you became more powerful because you had spirits going inside of you, which is really weird.
Crazy.
It's weird and crazy. Like listening to like history about so many things is so interesting, because we realize like, oh my gosh, this tradition has not died off. And like that's
also really crazy to think about, that they would think that a spirit goes in you, because whenever you become drunk, you're like a different person.
Right, and you do reckless things. And I personally believe that when you get into that state, it is much easier for a demon or a spirit to get inside of you, because you've already given yourself to them essentially in that way. But here's a verse in the Bible. It's Ephesians 5:18, and Paul says, "Do not get drunk with wine, for that leads to debauchery," whatever that means, but be filled with the Spirit. And also, just thinking about drinking in general, if you get drunk, then, if you get addicted to drinking, then that's something that hurts not just you, but also the people around you in general. Yeah. Like, you're not yourself, you do stuff that's stupid, you could die because you're driving. Like, that happens to so many people, which is sad. But it's not, like that verse specifically, it's not just about the drinking, it's also about the influence. Like, what's filling you, what's going inside of you, what's controlling you? Is it the alcohol, or is it God?
And you're making it an idol, basically.
Right, and wine fills the flesh, and God tells us not to fill things with, like, that we're going to fulfill our flesh, but to fill things with the Spirit that are going to help us, like, fill the soul, like the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. And also, in Proverbs 21, it puts it this way: wine is a mocker, strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. That's coming from the most wise person in the world. So, by the way. And it also just means, like, just stay aware and, like, keep a guard up of yourself. And also, just another thing is the enemy loves vulnerability. So if you're in that state, then he's going to go towards you in that way. And if he knows that you struggle with drinking, then he's going to use that to break off ties with God, because that's his main goal in life. Let's see. Also, part of drinking is also self-control. Like, that's one of the fruits of the Spirit. Obviously, we know that it's love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And that's always what alcohol takes from you. It takes that self-control away. And that's why God tells us to be filled with the Spirit. And that's the only thing that's actually going to give us peace. Because if you think about it, most people drink because they've gone through something, or they just want to forget about something. And of course I feel bad for them, like, they're going through stuff.
Yeah.
But the only thing that's truly going to fulfill them is the Holy Spirit, truly.
I think that's a really good way to put it, because what is the reason behind why you feel you have to drink so much to where you get drunk? Is it because you want to be numb from something, or is it because you don't want to be yourself? Like, there is definitely something in the heart, I think, that you have to check in that.
For sure. And also, it's just interesting how, wine spirits the store and spirit, and God calls us to be filled with the Spirit, but the devil is trying to get us filled with a different kind of spirit, which is alcohol and other things like that. And we just have to really think. And if you're struggling with drinking, then that's not something to be scared of talking to somebody for. Because that's also something that, if you're really struggling with it, then talk to somebody who's, either gone through it and you see that they're doing great, because going to somebody, you know, who is drinking and telling them, hey, I'm struggling with drinking, is probably not going to work.
Yeah.
So find somebody, like somebody older than you, if you're younger. If you're older, then find somebody who's gone through it, or somebody you can trust.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things out there to help people who have gone through that. I've had so many friends, people I love, that have gone through that, and they've got through it because of Jesus, and Jesus has taken away that desire for many people, like just like that. And it's not like that for everybody, because God wants you to push through it, because that's part of patience and learning character and all that. Okay, last thing I want to say about it is alcohol brings confusion. The other brings you peace, so whichever one you want to choose. And the other one dulls your senses, so alcohol dulls your senses. And the other one opens your eyes, and every day you get to choose which one you'll let fill you. So is it going to be the peace, or is it going to be the drinking? And again, if you are struggling with that, that's not something to be ashamed of. That's something to go talk to somebody about and to help you get fixed, because it's very much addictive.
Yeah.
Especially for people who struggle with addiction in general, because there's literally a personality type that has addictive, it's not, I don't think it's called addictive personality disorder, but it's something where, like, it's very easy for them to get addicted to something. So it's something to talk about. It's not, and if anybody ashames you from that, then they're just not a person you should go talk to. You need to talk to somebody who actually cares about you and will be willing to stand by you to go through it. Anyway, go ahead with the next topic. What else I want to say about that?
The next one was, as a Christian, should I cuss? I think this one's kind of crazy to talk about, because I had no clue how many people in the world, like, just use cuss words and don't even think anything about it. Like, literally think nothing about it. Y'all, your tongue speaks life and death. It is so much deeper than you think. Oh, it's so much deeper. It makes me so crazy. Anyway.
Especially people who have a lot of influence, like Christians or self-proclaimed Christians online, who, you know, oh, I'm a Christian, or they say, oh, I'm a Christian to friends, and then they go on their TikTok or their Instagram or their YouTube, I don't know, and they're cussing, and, you know, that's just something that I don't believe Jesus would cuss. He never cussed in the Bible, but it's just how you're representing yourself, because, again, your body's a temple, and also your words, as you said, speak life.
Or death.
Or death, and it really matters what comes out of your tongue. Like, what comes out of your mouth, it really matters. Anyway,
I will say, okay, we get cuss words from cursing. So whenever you cuss to someone, you are cursing them. Right. So clearly you're speaking life and death. Right. But we'll go to a Bible verse. James 3:11-12 says, "Can both fresh water and salt water flow from the same spring? My brothers and sisters, can a fig tree bear olives, or a grapevine bear figs? Neither can a salt spring produce fresh water." Someone who is truly following Jesus should not want to spit curses right after saying blessings.
Right.
If God has changed your heart, then you should not even want to say those kinds of things to people, because it's not helping anyone. It's not glorifying God. It's just bringing people down. And I wouldn't say just cursing and cussing, but I'd also say just the way you're speaking to people. Like, you should not be talking and bringing people down whenever you talk.
Because God's love, you know? And Jesus is love, and all he did was share love with others. And we're supposed to be little Jesuses, essentially. Yep. So is that what Jesus would do? Would Jesus do that?
It's just like the lukewarm thing that everyone talks about. Like, God does not want you sitting on the fence. Right. You have to be one way or the other. He would rather you be completely one way and completely the other. He does not want you to sit on the fence and be two-faced. So I think that also goes a lot with how you're talking to people, because you can talk one way at church and then be a completely different way at school or at work or with friends. And I think it's really important to think about how you're carrying yourself and how you talk to people, because obviously it can mean something, and it shows an example of who you are and who Jesus is if you call yourself a Christian.
Right. I mean, Pastor talked about it, 2-3 weeks ago. And it was like about that church that kind of was in the middle. Like, they had all the good things. They were talking about Jesus, but they actually weren't. And he said, like, they're like an abomination. Like, that's the worst thing you can do. I would rather you be cold against me than, like, just completely not do anything with me, then be on that fence. Because also influencing other people.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's why I believe a lot of people see Christians as judgmental, like, just the general group. It's because as a Christian, you're not actually being somebody that you would think is a Christian, you know what I mean? Like, you cuss, or people, not you, but people cuss, or people just don't show the character of Jesus or the, you know, the fruits of the Spirit, which is essentially like a great, like, thing to go by.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, for me, I saw people, like, I wasn't a Christian most of my life. I think I was like 16 or 17 when I became a Christian. My parents were Christians, and that's all conversation for another day. But, you know, I saw people, like, I would come to the States and go to camps, and all these girls were just so mean to me, and they would cuss me out because I didn't understand certain things, because I was still learning, like, English, kind of, and it was hard. I'm like, I don't want to be a Christian if this is how I'm going to be to everybody, like, how I'm going to be like. So it really matters how you talk. And, you know, as Christian followers, Jesus followers, we're supposed to spread Jesus to everybody else.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be doing the opposite. If we're doing the opposite, we're literally helping the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So are you helping the enemy? Or are you helping Jesus?
Amen. Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, I'm going to say it 1,000 times in every episode, I know it. My biggest thing is, we as Christians are examples. We are ambassadors for Christ. Mm-hmm. If someone wants to know Jesus, they look at Christians. Right. Sometimes we are the only Bible that people see. Right. Pastor Ryan says it 1,000 times, but it's true. So what Bible are we showing them? What Jesus are we showing them? Right. It's very important, I think.
Very important. Very important. Especially people, like, that are either church hurt or Christian hurt. Like, it happens a lot. And they want to see that goodness. And if you're not showing it, then they're just not going to want to come. People always give each other second chances. So just, it really matters. People are watching you. Especially if you say, hey, I'm a Christian. They're definitely going to be watching you then.
Yeah.
So make sure you know what you're doing.
And obviously, we're all going to mess up. We're not perfect.
Of course.
But I would say if cussing is a problem that you have, I would say definitely pray about it and ask God what's in your heart to make you feel like you have to talk to people that way. Like, what needs to change for you to want to uplift people instead of tear them down.
Right. It honestly just makes the sentence uglier. Like,
it does. Like, there are so many beautiful words in our language, and yet we choose to just hurt people. It's so sad, honestly, whenever you think about it. It's very disheartening.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, nowadays it's like, oh, it's cool if I cuss. You know, a lot of people cuss online, and it's like all the cool people cuss, so it makes me think, okay, maybe I can cuss and it's cool. And it's really not, because they're just hurting themselves, you know, when they're doing that.
Yeah. It honestly makes me sad to, like, hear it, because it makes me think of someone's heart. I know it sounds so weird, like, oh, it's just words, Chloe, but it makes me think of someone's heart, like, what is going on in that to make you feel like you have to talk that way?
But if you are, that's obviously same with, like, the drinking and all the other things. Like, just talk to somebody who's either been through it, or somebody that you trust, or us, us, or whatever, and we can talk you through it. But, like, honestly, I cussed a little bit when I wasn't a Christian. Not a lot. In a different language. And it's different, but it's still cussing.
Yeah.
But, like, it's like, there's no point. It's just, like, extra words that just hurt you in the future. And obviously when I became a Christian, I didn't cuss anymore. And it was a process. You know, you're used to the words, and it's just like, okay, I'm going to say this and it means nothing. But it does. Like, it really does. But anyway.
Yeah, we're going to have to go deeper into that one and look at the seriousness behind cursing and curses, because honestly, I think it's a lot deeper than people think. And everyone just looks at it like, oh, it's just a bad word. But honestly, I think it's a lot deeper than that.
Right, and a lot of the Bible talks about what comes out of our mouth is important.
Yeah.
So there has to be a reason why.
If it says that our tongues have the power of life and death, it has to be true. There has to be a reason for that.
Right.
Yeah, if you're struggling with those kinds of things, there are people in your life to help you through it. I promise you. You may think you're alone, but I swear you're not. Okay?
And you have Jesus if you really have nobody around you. You really
Yes.
do. And he's
You
the
can
best
pray.
friend you can have.
You can go to a pastor. You can go to parents. You can go to someone older than you. There are people you can go to, I promise.
Right.
You're
There
not
always
alone.
is. Yeah. You're not alone. For sure. Even though you feel alone. It does, especially in this day and age, it's hard. Because you feel alone a lot. But Jesus is always there for you, no matter what. And he's the best. He's literally like right here, like somewhere in this room for everybody. And he's always there with you. And just know that he's always looking after you. He's just kind of sitting there waiting for you to
Talk to
interact
him.
with him.
Yep.
And he loves you. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think that sums up this episode.
It does. That was episode 2, y'all.
Yes, we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.